Okay, so you're listening because you're serious about getting better, right? Like you actually want to see results.
Yeah, you want to improve on the court,
You want that straight up advice, no fluff.
no Schiller.
Exactly. And today we're diving deep into basketball.
We're talking about the fastest ways to see real improvement in your game.
And we've got some really solid material we've been digging into, breaking down what actually makes a difference in basketball.
Yeah, and you know what? Forget those endless drills that don't actually translate to the court.
The ones you just do over and over but don't really see a difference.
We're all about impact here.
Think of this as your, strategy session, your personal playbook to level up your game.
We've cut through the noise, and we're going to pull out the most effective advice so you can stop just practicing and actually start progressing.
So let's jump in. Where do we even begin to build a better game?
Well, it all starts with the foundation, the fundamentals.
Okay, back to basics.
You can't do the fancy stuff consistently if you haven't mastered the basics.
So true.
It's like building a house without a solid foundation.
It's going to crumble.
Exactly.
All right, so let's unpack this foundational layer. Let's start with dribbling. What's the most crucial element that our listeners need to really nail?
I'd say it's control, pure and simple.
Control.
And that comes from keeping the ball low around waist height.
Low and controlled.
It's not just about protecting the ball from a defender, which is super important.
Yeah, you don't want to get it stolen.
Exactly. But it's also about keeping your eyes up.
Oh, that's a good point.
You need to see the court, where your teammates are moving, where the openings are, how the defense is reacting.
Right. You can't make those smart plays if you're staring at your shoes.
You got it?
Now, a lot of players have a dominant hand, right?
Of course.
How do we bridge that gap and become a threat on both sides?
You got to put in the work on that non-dominant hand.
So basically just using your weak hand more.
It's all about dedicated practice. The material we've been looking at specifically highlights two-ball dribbling drills.
2 balls at once.
Yeah, it sounds a little crazy.
A little bit.
It might feel awkward, even frustrating at first.
I can imagine.
But stick with it. It builds incredible coordination and control. Think about a player like Kyrie Irving.
Oh, yeah.
His ability to handle the ball with either hand opens up so many possibilities that didn't happen overnight.
Yes.
It's the result of focused practice.
It's like he's got 2 dominant hands.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving on to shooting. Everyone wants to score more buckets, right?
Of course, who doesn't love putting the ball through the hoop?
So beyond just, shooting more, what are the core form principles that we should be focusing on?
Consistency in your shot starts with the fundamentals of good form. And a really helpful way to remember this is the acronym BEEF.
BEEF.
Okay.
I like it.
I'm intrigued. Let's break down this winning formula.
So B stands for balance.
Balance, got it.
It's your foundation. You need a stable base to generate power efficiently and maintain your accuracy.
Okay, makes sense.
Then we have E for eyes.
Eyes on the prize.
Eyes focused on the target, the hoop, where you want the ball to go. Don't get distracted.
Exactly. Then we have another E for elbow.
Elbow.
Your elbow should be tucked in, aligned with the basket, like you're serving a dish.
Like a waiter.
Precisely. And finally, F for follow-through.
Follow through. I always forget that one.
It's crucial. Completing your shot smoothly, letting your hand finish towards the hoop.
Extending all the way.
Exactly. Each of these elements plays a critical role.
They all work together.
Exactly. For instance, balance isn't just about stability. It also allows for a better transfer of energy from your legs through your core to your shot.
Oh, I see. So it's like a chain reaction.
Precisely. You see guys fading away or off balance, and their accuracy suffers big time.
That makes so much sense. So BEE, I got it. What's another key to improving our shooting percentage? Is it just taking more shots?
Well, not necessarily. The material actually emphasizes starting close to the basket.
Really?
Yeah, it's about ingraining that correct form and building muscle memory at a distance where you can consistently make shots.
Okay, so start close, build that foundation.
Then as you get more comfortable and consistent, you gradually increase your range.
So it's quality over quantity to start.
Exactly. It's more effective to develop a reliable shot from close in than to just launch a bunch of air balls from further out.
Makes sense. So don't just chuck it from half court.
Unless you're Steph Curry?
Unless you're Steph Curry. All right, last of the core fundamentals, defense.
The often overlooked but absolutely crucial part of the game.
Yeah, it's not always the most glamorous, but championships are built on defense.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
So where do we begin to elevate our defensive game?
Yeah, what's the starting point for better defense?
It all starts with your stance.
Stance, okay.
You need to be on the balls of your feet that allows you to react quickly Move laterally and stay agile.
Light on your feet.
Exactly. Now
Okay.
keep your arms wide.
Wow.
This disrupts passing lanes and makes it harder for the player you're guarding to drive past you cleanly.
So be a nuisance.
Be a pest. You
Yeah.
have to mirror the ball.
Yeah.
Wherever the ball goes, your body should be positioned to react.
Anticipate every move.
You're trying to stay between your opponent and the basket, anticipating their moves.
So active feet, active hands, always in a position to react.
That's fundamental defense.
All right, so we've covered the basics. Now we're shifting gears. The material we're looking at moves into training like a pro. This sounds intense.
It is. It's about taking your game to the next level.
So what does training like a pro really mean?
Professional players don't just go through the motions. Their training is very deliberate, designed to hone specific skills and push their physical limits.
So it's about being intentional with your training.
Exactly. Every drill, every workout has a specific purpose.
Okay, let's get into some of these pro-level drills. First up is the Mikan drill. This sounds a little old school. Is it still relevant?
Absolutely. It's a classic for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Named after one of the early legends of the game, George Mikan.
Okay.
This drill is fantastic for developing your touch around the basket with both hands and improving your layup technique.
So it's all about those close-range shots.
Yeah, getting a feel for the ball on the backboard using both hands.
Now, this material suggests aiming for 50 makes every day.
That's right, 50 makes a day.
50, that's dedication.
It's about that repetitive motion, getting a feel for the ball on the glass, and becoming comfortable finishing on either side of the hoop.
Okay, so repetition is key.
Muscle memory, you know.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What else do the pros focus on in their individual workouts?
Cone weaving.
Cone weaving is staple for a reason.
Why is that?
It's incredible for improving your ball handling skills, your agility, and your ability to maintain control of the ball while changing direction at speed.
So basically dribbling through cones.
Exactly, but with purpose. The material recommends 5 minutes of continuous practice.
5 minutes straight.
Yeah, push yourself. The key is to push your speed while keeping the ball close and using both hands equally.
So it's not just about getting around the cones.
No, it's about developing that feel and control in dynamic situations.
Okay, 5 minutes of focused cone weaving can definitely feel like a long time when you're really pushing it.
Oh yeah, you'll feel the burn. Then there are the infamous suicide sprints. Just the name sounds brutal.
They are a classic conditioning drill, but for good reason.
Why do they call them suicide sprints?
Well, because they're tough. You're repeatedly sprinting and recovering, which is essential in a basketball game.
So it simulates the up and down the court action.
You sprint to different lines on the court and back.
Yeah.
The crucial aspect highlighted is trying to beat your own previous times.
So it's all about pushing your personal limits.
Exactly, and developing that mental toughness to keep going even when you're fatigued.
So it's not just about running, it's about measurable improvement in your speed and recovery.
You got it.
Now, the material we reviewed also have this optional guest clip that really emphasized game speed. What's the core message there?
It's all about training hard so you can play easy.
Train hard, play easy. I like that.
The idea is that if you consistently train at a high intensity, pushing yourself in drills and conditioning, then the pace and demands of an actual game will feel more manageable.
It's like you're training your body to be ready for anything.
Exactly. You're preparing for the most demanding situations. So when you step onto the court for a game, you're not overwhelmed by the intensity.
Right. You don't want the game to be the first time you're pushing yourself to that level.
Exactly.
So we've covered the physical preparation. But as the material points out, raw talent will only take you so far. Basketball IQ is what separates good players from really effective ones.
Absolutely. You can be the fastest or jump the highest. But if you don't know how to use those abilities effectively, you're limiting your potential.
So it's like having all the tools but not knowing how to use them.
Exactly. Basketball IQ is about understanding the game, the strategies, the tendencies of opponents. It's just as vital as having the physical skills.
So how do we develop this basketball IQ? First on the checklist, watching film coaches always preach this, but how do you actually learn something from watching film?
It's about being an active watcher, not just passively watching the game. The material suggests focusing on players who excel in the position you want to play.
Well, that's a good idea.
So if you're looking to improve your shooting, really study how Steph Curry creates space. His footwork, his release.
Learn from the best.
Exactly. If you want to be a better playmaker, dissect Chris Paul's passing angles, his court vision, how he reads defenses.
So it's like being a detective looking for clues in their game.
You're looking for patterns for the reasons behind their success.
Okay, so active analysis, not just entertainment. Got it.
hmm
What's another way to elevate your basketball IQ during a live game, not just in review? Reading defenses. How do you even begin to understand what the defense is trying to do?
Well, one really useful tip is to pay attention to a defender's weight distribution, their lean.
They're lean. Okay.
If a defender is leaning noticeably in one direction, that often tells you where they think you're going.
They're anticipating your move?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The advice is to attack their front foot, go the opposite way of their lean.
Oh, so use their momentum against them.
Exactly. It's a subtle cue, but recognizing it can give you a crucial advantage in getting past them.
It's like a mind game.
In a way.
All right, that's a great actionable takeaway. Look for the lean and exploit it. And finally, in terms of IQ, let's talk about spacing. I see so many teams, especially younger players, just bunching up around the ball.
Yeah, poor spacing can kill an offense.
How so?
It eliminates driving lanes, makes passing difficult, and allows the defense to key in on the ball handler.
Everyone's just in each other's way.
Exactly. The material emphasizes the importance of avoiding ball crowding and creating effective passing and driving angles.
Okay, so spread out.
Think about a pick and roll. For it to work effectively,
Yeah.
the other players on the court need to be positioned in ways that open up passing lanes to the rolling player or create opportunities for cuts to the basket.
Yeah, if everyone is just standing close together, the defense can easily guard multiple players at once.
You got it.
The concept of a white bull breakdown comes to mind, illustrating how everyone needs to occupy a specific space to create those openings.
I like that analogy.
So understanding player movement, reading defensive cues, and maintaining proper spacing, that's the core of basketball IQ.
Absolutely.
Now let's delve into an area that often separates the good from the great mental toughness.
Ah, yes. The mental game. Arguably one of the most critical yet often overlooked aspects of basketball.
Yeah, you can have all the physical tools, but if you can't handle pressure, bounce back from mistakes, or stay focused when things get tough, it's going to hold you back.
Exactly. The mental side of the game is just as important as the physical side.
So how do we cultivate that mental fortitude? The material we reviewed offers a few key strategies.
Yeah.
Let's start with visualization.
Visualization is a powerful tool that many elite athletes use.
Okay, so how does it work?
It involves creating vivid mental images of successful plays or scenarios.
So like imagining yourself making the game-winning shot.
Exactly. Or executing a perfect pass or locking down an opponent on defense.
Okay.
This mental practice can build confidence, refine your technique in your mind's eye, and prepare you to perform under pressure when those situations arise in a game.
So it's like rehearsing in your mind so you're more prepared when the real moment comes?
Exactly. You're creating a mental blueprint for success.
I like that. What's another key to mental toughness? Developing a short memory that sounds especially crucial in a sport as fast-paced as basketball, where mistakes are going to happen.
Absolutely. Dwelling on missed shots, turnovers, or defensive breakdowns can completely erode your confidence and negatively impact your subsequent performance.
I think you get in your own head.
The concept of a short memory is about acknowledging the mistake, learning from it if possible, and then immediately shifting your focus to the next play.
Okay, so don't dwell on the past.
You can't change what just happened,
Oh.
but you have complete control over your response and your focus moving forward.
So easier said than done, I'm sure, especially in a high-stakes situation, but definitely a vital skill to cultivate.
Without a doubt.
And finally, in the realm of mental toughness, the material touches on confidence, just playing with that swagger like you're the best player on the floor. Is it really as simple as flipping a switch?
Well, it's about cultivating a deep-seated belief in your abilities and playing with a sense of self-assurance.
So believing in yourself?
Exactly. The material even includes references to the mindset of legends like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, who exuded that unwavering confidence.
They definitely had that Mamba mentality.
Exactly. It's not about arrogance or underestimating your opponents, but about trusting in your preparation, your skills, and your decision-making.
Okay, so confidence, but not cockiness.
Exactly. When you play with confidence, you're more likely to take calculated risks, make decisive plays, and ultimately perform at your best.
It can be contagious too, right? Like your confidence can affect your teammates and even your opponents.
Absolutely. It's about projecting that belief, which can have a psychological impact on everyone around you.
So visualize success, learn to let go of mistakes, and believe in yourself. That's the mental game in a nutshell.
It's a powerful combination.
Now, the material includes this bonus tip, something that might push players outside their comfort zone, but can lead to really rapid growth playing against better players.
This is huge. It's one of the most effective ways to accelerate your improvement.
So find people who are better than you and play against them.
It's exactly when you consistently compete against opponents who are more skilled faster or have a higher basketball IQ, it forces you to elevate your own game.
Okay, so it's like trial by fire.
In a way, you'll quickly identify your weaknesses because they'll be exposed, and you'll be challenged to find new ways to compete and succeed.
It can definitely be intimidating to be the underdog in those situations, but I can see how that would force you to step up your game.
Precisely, you get tested, you'll likely make more mistakes initially, but you'll also learn at a much faster pace than if you're always playing against the same level of competition or players you can easily dominate.
It pushes you out of your comfort zone.
Exactly. You're forced to adapt your game, develop new strategies, and become a more versatile and well-rounded player.
So embrace the challenge, even if it means taking some losses along the way.
It's all part of the process.
Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground here. Let's do a quick recap for our listener to solidify these key takeaways.
All right, so we've taken a deep dive into 5 crucial areas for making real strides in your basketball game.
5.
Mastering the fundamentals, training like a pro, with those intentional drills, elevating your basketball IQ by studying the game, cultivating mental toughness to handle pressure, and the bonus tip of consistently playing against better competition.
Those are some powerful tools.
And each of these areas offers tangible actions you can take to see real improvement on the court.
So as you're listening to this and thinking about your own game, here's a final thought to consider. Which of these 5 key areas do you believe would have the most immediate and significant impact on your game right now?
Yeah, think about it.
Is it finally locking in those fundamental skills, starting to incorporate some of those pro-level training drills? Maybe it's about actively studying the game and boosting your IQ. Or perhaps it's about strengthening your mental game. Or are you ready to seek out tougher competition to really test your limits?
It's all about self-awareness and setting the right goals.
Take a moment to consider where you are and where you want to go, and maybe choose just one of these areas to really focus on in your next few workouts or games.
That's a great challenge.
And remember, the journey to improvement is ongoing, and taking these focused steps can lead to real noticeable progress.
You got this.
All right, that's it for our deep dive on basketball. We'll catch you next time.
See you on the court.
Keep practicing and keep pushing your limits.
And remember, train hard, play easy.
Absolutely.
See you later.
Bye.